Oh, we're back.
Meh.
I think we're back.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we're back.
What's that preview video?
Right up here. Oh, we're not chugging. All right.
Is it working?
Let me see if anybody's still here. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
Profile. Do they know there's a new video to like look at?
Do I have to tell people?
Maybe. If they're logged in, it should notify them.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay.
La la loo.
Do.
Dop diddy.
Do I need to go to that event?
Maybe. La la
well,
loo.
it says. Okay, I think I see people.
Is it? I can't see.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. I think. Did people follow us? Everybody, come here.
Are we back? Did we survive the wrath of loading?
Sorry, guys.
Kel made it. This is like, I feel like we just got ambushed at our camp and we set up in the wilderness. It was kind of like Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah.
And we just got ambushed and we all got split up and now we're all meeting up again. And so far only 14 of them made it back.
Yeah.
We're like, but where's
I
Blankety
feel like
Blue?
Jurassic Park where he's like, ah, when he's yelling into the thing and then it's like, I need you to go find my friend.
Can you do me a kindness? Can you go into the raptor-infested woods and
Please.
find my idiot kids? And Dr. What's-his-face, your boyfriend now. Him too, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Bring him back, he's got a nice hat.
Okay, we made
Okay,
it.
thanks. Lol.
Lol.
Alright, well, some survivors have returned. I'm
Thank
sorry for the rest
goodness.
of them. They'll be remembered.
And while I was away, Kel explained Homestuck to me on Skype. Thank you.
How'd it go? How's Skype?
Skype's good.
It's either, yeah, we just gotta keep an eye on that RAM.
Yeah.
Might be a RAM issue.
You know
who
what?
knows?
This sucks because it's I want to do drawing demos on this thing, but I'm afraid every time I open up a program, it's going to be like, ah.
There's gotta be like some weird...
Right now it's at 52 CPU.
Where?
So down here.
Yeah.
You can see the little stream do.
Maybe it's gotta be like, we gotta search what keeps the CPU down.
I need just some kind of monster powered.
If you guys know what keeps the CPU down on an iMac, this show will flow better for it.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Yeah. Dang it. Well, thanks for sticking around, guys. We really appreciate you sticking it out through the crazy.
Ryan says, I thanks the alcohol for giving me the clarity in situations like this.
I do too. We made each other grog.
Yeah, I'm all out though. My strawberry ice cube is stuck at the bottom.
You have yours in your Monkey Island sign.
Yes. Boom. Speaking of Monkey Island, Ron Gilbert recently released a new game called The Cave, which is available on most platforms, I do believe, and it's though Ron Gilbert, of course, known for his works on Monkey Island and such point-and-click adventure games, is known for point-and-click adventure games. This is more of a side-scrolling platformer, but with plenty of point-and-click elements and a lot of his trademark humor. Haven't played it yet myself, but it sounds like it's worth your time, so check it out. Either, I'm assuming it's on Steam, otherwise I heard it's on the Wii Network, Nintendo place of fun. It's out there. Be sure to check it out. Tell me what you think if you played it. I haven't played it yet, and I probably should, but I also have a backed up list of many Steam sale purchases from the past 2 years that I haven't touched yet. And then there's also Assassin's Creed 3.
What's going on with that?
Nothing, because I haven't opened it yet.
Yeah.
I've been this really has been the year that I've thrown myself more into writing. Like I've actually stuck to my guns for a lot of these New Year's resolutions. I haven't been eating out like food, like expensive fast foods and stuff in a long while. I survived primarily on gift cards. Let's see what else. I've been very frugal. Like I get these emails from ThinkGeek being like, "Oh, look at these lovely things." I'm like, "No, ThinkGeek, no." And they're like, "Oh, but your geek points are going to disappear." I'm like, "No, keep me." You know, I haven't been buying things. Been living frugal, but it's also in preparation because there's a lot of trips. Hopefully this year that we'll be flying off to.
We might go to Japan.
Wait, what?
Maybe.
Oh, really?
Did you know about this?
I knew a group started, but I didn't know it was serious.
I don't know, because it's kind of like,
I thought this was after Heather graduates. We're into that.
Yeah. But she's going to be graduating from high school.
Yeah, Disney World was the agreement.
But we're going to go to Disney Sea.
Are we?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That and Ghibli Town.
Interesting. So if you're in Japan or know someone there who has couches and doesn't mind me living on them, I'm coming over.
It's kind of like, you know, when you and your buddy, was it just Kristen? Was it you and Kristen?
Who?
When you guys planned to go off to Europe, I was like, it was kind of one of those things where I was like, someday I want to go to Europe. But it wasn't until you guys had your plane ticket and your hostels booked that I was like, oh.
Is that easy?
Well, now I'm going. No, because it's like you need someone to kind of get the ball rolling. Where it's like, they're going, I want to go. And so since our friend Jean is getting a trip going, it's like, fine, this is the year that we go.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll go.
There's going to be a bunch of people that we know, so I think it'll be a
lot for sure. And I know some people who have gone, and I want to go, but I know I'm going to lose a lot of money there. And not from the pachinko machines.
Johanna's been to the Ghibli Museum.
Ooh.
Actually, I have gifty from the Ghibli Museum.
I think I have a little Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah, me too. A friend of mine.
Oh, I got like a little fuzzy hanging.
Yeah, a friend of mine went and got me this little Gigi.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna blow a lot of money there in Japan. Shaggy should travel the world and try new foods, then review them. Does it have to be weird foods though? Can't it just be like the McDonald's in Japan? I'm like, there's Big Mac.
It has to be weird foods.
Damn it. I'm like, if you watch Idiot Abroad with our good friend Carl Pilkington from such shows as the Ricky Gervais Show, with a head like a friggin' orange, you'll see the drudgery of travel that he has to go through.
I like that he makes it just so miserable.
The misery of seeing the world's
like,
most like acclaimed locations.
I'm excited.
No, I've been for a long time wanting to go to Japan. Just maybe more of a validation because all these years of anime, it's like, you know, it's all silly and fun, but sometimes you just need to be like, this is what it's really like. Yeah. And if it's silly and fun, all the better.
I mean, I want some of the silly fun stuff because, like, our friend Jackface McGee, she went, or is she there right now? Well, she went before, and there was like what was it? It was like a Resident Evil cafe or something like that, where it was like it had snacks and character themed things like that. And I want to go to some wacky cafes.
Yeah.
I
do want to go like to some Gundam stuff.
Yeah, but I also want to just see like some lovely temples, and I want to see some beautiful countryside.
Yeah.
I really, really, really want to go to Kyoto.
Yeah.
So badly. When I was in actually, I think when we were starting to get the Europe trip going, I was reading a blog of a woman who was teaching and living in Japan, and she went to Kyoto and take pictures of all the, I think it's pronounced Mako, and is it Geiko? It's the women in the, it's just beautiful. It was so pretty. I loved it. Yeah, so hopefully we can go.
You know when this would be? Like what season?
Winter, towards the end of the year.
Our winter or?
Our winter.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we've got some time. Apparently October is the best time of year to go. Svetlana said.
Interesting.
But we might be going.
Because I want to go to Disney Sea, of course.
I really want to go to Disney Sea.
And I want to go to a hot spring.
I'm excited because I'm wondering if they'll have more like Wreck-It Ralph stuff there, like with Sugar Rush.
Oh, you mean Sugar Rush in Japan?
Yes.
I watched that music video from 48 Girls Singing Stuff or whatever their band is called, and at the end they had the Wreck-It Ralph trailer, and it's basically verbatim the exact same trailer we got, but with Japanese voices. But then after at the very end they're like Sugar Rush, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Now I knew in advance people said, oh, it's called Sugar Rush instead in Japan, and I was like, all right, but I never saw evidence of it yet. And this was it. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
They just maybe Ralph is just kind of a weird name or something.
Well,
but
Ralph's kind of like, huh?
I figured Donkey Kong came from Japan. They could rock that, but
yeah, but
Sugar Rush. And like the trailer definitely did have a few more clips from Sugar Rush with the cute girls all fighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, I see. But yeah, so when the sequel comes out and has nothing to do with the Sugar Rush game, I'm curious to what they call it. It's just Sugar Rush 2. It's like, I see. A couple comments on traveling. Apparently, the Ghibli Museum, they sold original film strings. I heard about this from the Ghibli films there, and I bought one bag. They were blind bags, so you couldn't tell which one you get. I got the title of Howl's Moving Castle. No characters, just the logo.
That's kind of random.
That's rough. I'm sorry. Brian's saying my home state has good food. Should come over sometime.
What's your home state?
Yeah, where's your home state, and how many couches do you have that fit me? Because I only sleep in 3 couches.
No shame. I love it. We're our friend Rachel Dukes from Poser Inc. I remember one year we were part of an anthology she was doing, and she was like, "Yeah, if you're ever in San Diego, you know, let me know. Like, you can totally crash." And then it was like a year went by, and then it was like we got into Comic-Con. We're like, "Hey, remember a year ago? Yeah, so we could stay
you said it."
So I mean, we hold you guys to stuff.
Yeah, we will sleep in your house.
In fact, you're watching this show is consent for us to sleep in your house.
Yeah, there is a binding contract in the live stream.
It's very tiny print. You clicked OK. It was in white. It was like hidden on the screen, like moving around.
You had to highlight it to be fair to find it.
Yeah, we're sneaky like that.
But you know, like that's the main thing is I don't tend to know enough people who live in different places to be like, oh, I'm going to visit what's their face over in this exotic fun town.
Yeah. Well, I do, but I can't just like I'm going to go visit. It's like when can I build up see people?
Yeah, no, Japan would be fun. I know I gotta go like Akibara. I'll never forget this. Like randomly, when one summer, for whatever reason, when I was attempting to learn Japanese, I went to a course, just like learn Japanese course for whatever reason, just you know for validation to be like, oh, this is the language and blah blah blah. It was fun. I didn't get the whole grasp of it, but you know, whatever. But I was invited with like the class and some people to like go see the seminar that was just about like Japanese culture and the city and stuff, and it was showing the difference between Tokyo, like downtown, and like Akibara. The difference is Akibara being the very, I believe this is like the tech district, right? Like it used to be like electronics and stuff, but became more of an otaku haven. where the difference is you go to Tokyo or Shibuya, and all the buildings are like, you know, Gap, you know, like the store, all these big glass open windows, and they want you to see their wares. Versus in this tech town, Akihabara, everything is covered off, so the sunlight won't fade the posters and the books and the toys and the games. And so it's a very shut-in society as far as...
I can see that.
Like, you're in this town and everything is like white. So, like, it looks like there's going to be a
abandoned?
robot attack, and they have plated buildings.
Yeah.
So it's like safe, and they're going to sink into the ground, into the geo front and stuff like that. But it's basically like a very contrasty kind of place to go to, like if you've been to one. And supposedly there's another town that's more of like the female otaku town, where it's on the train line also. And it's more like more girly stuff in the stores. I forget where it was. I had some notes, but it was a really interesting talk.
Yeah. You're down for hanging around with that stuff. You
yeah,
know,
no,
like a maid
I'm
cafe.
all about that. Yeah, that'd be
or
great.
a butler cafe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I love butler cafes. But supposedly in one theme park, I was watching a video because I randomly follow cosplayers on Twitter for some reason, and there's one called Vampy Bit Me, I think, and she had videos of her in Japan, and she went to like the Evangelion Museum theme park experience thing, where it was like she was in this like abandoned theme park. It looked like because there's no one around, and she walks in, and they have like to scale Evangelion heads and shoulders in like. It's terrifying. It's so big.
Whoa.
In like the liquid,
I've heard
and you
that.
walk
It's
by
like
the
you're
bridge.
Walking by it as if you're the kids getting ready to go in them.
Basically, and they have like cardboard cutouts of like the characters in like the change rooms and stuff. Like you can hang out with Kachi or what his name is, or Kaji. And it's like me
Kaji.
and Shinji in the change room. What's up, buddy? You know, it's like you can have some fun.
Just whip Shinji
Yeah, it's rat tail Shinji until he gets in the mech. You're like, go on, Shinji, get yours in there.
That mech.
I'd go dress up as a car.
Well, they're gonna save itself, yeah.
With the glasses and my gloves and my beard. Actually, that's one of the few characters I cosplay as if I keep my beard.
Now that I'm older, maybe I could do. Who's that scientist nurse?
No, not
When I cut my
Masato.
hair?
What's her face?
Who's the angsty nurse?
Yes.
She's not a nurse. She just wears a white.
She looks like a nurse.
Yeah.
I forget her name. Ritsuko, Ragakadu.
Because it's like now that I'm older, it's like I gotta do a sensible thing and cosplay as older characters. So
Well, that was me with
Masato
cosplay.
would be good. Get a wig.
Like me with cosplay, I was always trying to figure out who has facial
Well, then
hair.
I was trying to want to go like retro. It was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. That's why like my first cosplay ever was Beautiful Joe as regular Joe, because I just grew the beard out, dyed it red, and then got like a blue T-shirt, put the text on it, and then we built this wig hat. So I had this spiky hair coming out in the front.
That was cool.
And all these, and like I basically had to destroy this red wig to do it, but it
so
was,
good.
and it was just like a good cosplay because Anime North is in May. It's really hot.
So much?
It was a spiky wig, so I just kind of like I cut out a patch and attached it to the front of it.
Yeah,
and I found a watch and I painted it pink on the front to do like the Beautiful Joe thing. And it was fun too because it was like a T-shirt and jean shorts, or not jean shorts, but khaki shorts. So it was nice and cool for a convention.
Yeah, that's the best.
Like I never like the problem with Waluigi is he's like long sleeve
Well,
overalls.
that's why your poses are like this.
I'm always like this to air my pits out, just like Waluigi kind of thing.
Just, I can breathe.
But the interesting thing was I always kind of pick characters that are well known enough, but people get really excited to see them.
Same, yeah.
Because when people saw Joe or Beats from Jet Set Radio or Waluigi, they're like, "Oh my god, we gotta take a picture!" Like it was just like the excitement was really fun for me, you know.
For me, it's my cosplay. It has to be comfortable and really easy to
Yeah.
put together in a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, for like 3 years, I was rocking a Paprika from the Satoshi Kon, I believe, a movie where she's got like the short red hair, she's got a red T-shirt, she's got cut off blue jeans with a white belt and running shoes. And it was so comfy and easygoing. And when people recognize it, they get so excited because I'd be the only one there, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah!"
Well, like your first cosplay was Witch Hunter Robin, if I'm correct, and that was heavy. That was layers of darkness.
I had long hair, so because she's got big pigtails, I managed to like
get the hair out sideways.
If you use like a whole bunch of plastic bands, you can get it sticking out like that. And then it was just like
it's an
turtleneck
awkward hair.
and gloves and big dress, and it was really
And we only saw like one or two others that year because it was it was well enough unknown.
Now my favorite was when me and my sister and a bunch of friends, we went as the villains from Soul Eater, and that was the best because it was the first time I've been in a group cosplay, and I was Medusa. And it was such an easy costume because it's like a blonde wig tied down. I mean, the hardest part was getting like the snake tattoo patterns, which was actually pretty good because I made a stencil for it. And then it was like black hoodie, with sleeves cut off, black capri pants, and then she's barefoot, but I just wore flip-flops, and it was so comfortable and so easy. And then you do your nails, because she's got, like, long black nails with yellow stripes on it. And it was great, because it's like, I never really think about being in character, I just kind of go to have fun, but when I see, who's the pink-haired character, that's the daughter, Krona. Every time I go by a Krona, they'd be like cowering from me. Like, yeah, it's excellent. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And on the other side, though, anytime there was a Black Star character, they'd be like raring for a fight, and I'm like, whoa, I'm on break.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That is cool. Like I do miss that excitement because I haven't dressed up in the past year because we were in Vancouver instead.
Yeah, we were in lovely Vancouver.
That was one of the things I just kind of miss about not being at the con, just like getting that time to dress up and run around.
I like dressing up, running
do
around.
shenanigans. But like I don't even know what characters to do anymore. I've kind of done most of the ones I wanted to.
I don't know any new shows, so it would need to be like retro.
Yeah, like I might do a Kari.
I mean, now it's retro.
I could do the glasses and the beard and call myself Commander Kari or something like that. But like, I don't know. I don't know what else I want to do. There's got to be something in a video game somewhere I haven't done yet. Like I really enjoyed doing the Altair, like Assassin's Creed.
That was good.
Because like the interesting thing was that was like the year of the assassin because there was so many assassins at Anime North that year. Like everyone was an Ezio or like just other interpretations or different colored outfits, and it was just like you know something's popular when you end up at an intersection in a road and you cross like 7 assassins are crossing the road in different directions. And it's like it's just like want to stab everyone.
I know.
But
that would always happen anytime I took a picture. I'd be like, ready? Now assassinate each other. And
I got skewered by a girl who actually had a functional blade.
Scary.
Yeah, she went like shoot in the chest. I'm like, God damn it.
Wow.
But it's really validating to me too because it's like I know Ubisoft is like partially a Canadian company, so it's like like the Canadian cosplay is popular.
Is it?
Technically, it's probably more of Ubisoft France, but like Ubisoft Montreal and Toronto, probably helped out a bit.
Yeah.
But no, it's just really validating to be like, yeah, Canada represent, like finally, like Ubisoft's doing big things, man. Especially since sad news in the video game industry, of course, THQ. Who you may know from a bunch of games if you played any of the wrestling games and stuff. They have a bunch of other properties too, and they have like Saints Row and stuff. They got bankruptcy, which is really bad, unfortunate, but a lot of their assets are getting divided up and sold off. And Ubisoft bought THQ Montreal. Ubisoft bought the rights to release the South Park upcoming game, The Stick of Truth. And they didn't get a bunch of other bids, but they were like the runner-up for a lot of other bids. So Ubisoft is really a heavy hitter when it comes to the video game industry. Like they are just expanding at a rapid rate. The fact that they have a Toronto studio, the fact that they're buying up all these assets and a whole other studio. So I'm curious to see what comes from them, what this does for the game industry on a whole, what it does for the Toronto game industry. The Ubisoft's very curious, and they're actually not even that far from here. Like they're on the subway line for sure. They're actually near Starving Artist, so if you want to visit Ubisoft and then get some waffles and pancakes, go hang out at Ubisoft.
Do you want to go get waffles? I haven't had waffles there.
They're not open at night though. They're called a bar, but they're only open during the morning.
What? I don't know.
Lie.
Well, you're not a freelancer anymore.
Yeah, if
Become
I was.
a freelancer.
I want to. Weird hours. I want weird hours.
Go get waffles at like.
Don't tell anyone, even though I'm broadcasting this live. I'm gradually trying to get out of doing motion graphics. I realize it's not for me anymore.
You should tell people though. You should tell people what you want to do.
Well, technically I want to write, but I have yet to take that step to turn writing into a lucrative thing. Because honestly, there's like the truth of the matter is, all right, let's get serious.
It is serious time.
No more lame-ass jokes. Let's on going to the course I did. I went to like a radio and television course, and I tended to go more towards post-production and editing because that's the stuff I enjoyed doing in high school and keep doing it. And though I did like 1 or 2 writing courses, I didn't continue doing it because I'm just like, everyone wants to be a writer. There's no way I could like compete in this, like especially in the TV market, because I wasn't even really a TV writer. I didn't care to like write a spec episode of The West Wing or something. It just wasn't in my interest at all. And I'm just like, I'll just go with what I'm already good with. Much you like politics. Well, yeah. but the point being, I was not a serious like person who's like writing spec scripts, and spec scripts being your rendition of an episode.
Spec script though, you'd write like a Futurama spec script.
Probably, yeah. Or, something more along those lines. Or maybe nowadays, like, I'd try, like, a Gravity Falls script. Or maybe Adventure Time if I could find drugs. Like, basically, it's that kind of thing.
You mean the drugs of childhood?
Yes, the drugs of innocence and humor.
It's funny that we're like, how do you come up with that stuff? You're either a kid or you're on drugs.
You're either the guy who wrote Where the Wild Things Are and you're a forever child at heart, or you're as high as shit. It's like, that's basically the only two ways you can write something like that. But the point being is I never pursued writing as a career. I always went post-production, and not even editing, even though that's what I love to do. I always end up in video, like graphic animation jobs, because there tend to be more openings for that than like call for, we need an editor. And to be fair, I never had really much professional editing experience. I know how to edit, but not, you know, editing for TV is a whole different world, because you got to be like taking stuff from, you know, bad data tapes, because some studios still use beta. It's still like a pretty strong format. It's all about logging and capturing, and, you know, as an intern, you're basically going through hours of reality TV footage, checking off when stuff happens. It gets to the editor, and then it's logging, and then this and that, and the editor, blur. And so I just kind of stuck with After Effects all this time. But like, it's come to the point where I'm just like, I'm not striving to be better in After Effects these days. I'm not doing the tutorials. I'm not
the problem is
trying to be a better animator.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a job that doesn't take up a lot of your time, that's one thing, because then it's like you can kind of like, you know, use it as a source of income to buffer you while you write. And you seem to find a lot of time to write.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's what, talking about the New Year's resolutions,
Yeah,
I've been logging off a lot of days.
I wouldn't recommend like just quitting them.
No, I can't do that.
That's really...
But the point is, this is kind of like, I'm thinking, if I'm hired for a new job, you know, freelance or otherwise, I'm wanting it to be in a writing aspect, but I'm cautious of what the format is, because I don't know if I can do a half-hour TV program. I don't know if I can do whatever other writers do, or a book.
You can write a script.
I gotta get back into the format, basically. I've
worked on enough shows that I'm like, I could write a script. Like,
it's like, why aren't you writing scripts?
Some of the shows I've worked on, I'm like, I could have written this.
Well, the other half is, speaking of writing and stuff, I've been starting up a group called Write Night in Toronto. Gradually, we're opening up for more people to attend. So far it's been pretty, you know, it's just been amongst friends right now, but I wouldn't mind getting it out there. Maybe I have to call it Toronto Write Night or something. But it's a weekly get-together. I have one topic. It's kind of like a podcast in that respect, where it's just like, the first week was talking about writing in a vacuum or getting feedback from people. What balance of what. The second week was villains, which was fun. We had a bunch of people come out.
You know what? I wanted to ask you, because I couldn't make it to the thing. How did Villains Night go?
Went really good. Like I opened just with the concept. I have a couple of preset questions if I need it. But it's basically...
I was kind of hoping we'd do like a little mini rundown on this show.
Well, it's interesting because I brought up some interesting points, because even like just hours before doing it, I was just considering villains and stuff, and some of the interesting thoughts that came to me. And even like, you know, a lot of people, let's go back to Star Wars briefly, very briefly. But a lot of people tout Star Wars as like the traditional, you know, the hero's path. You have the heroes were heroes, villains were villains.
Joseph Campbell.
Yeah. But there's something interesting that occurred to me in that, compared to a lot of the other stuff I've seen, be it anime or games. Consider this. Luke, hero.
Yeah.
Vader, villain. Luke is not on Darth Vader's radar at all.
Yeah, he doesn't even know he exists.
He doesn't know he exists in the whole movie. Even at the very end of it, when he's in his targets, he's like, oh, this guy has the Force.
This kid's pretty good.
Like, that should be such a big deal. Like, oh shit, a Jedi. But he's like, shmeh. And it's like, Luke is not in any way on his radar. And I found that really interesting. But the point that kind of came from that is, antagonists more often, like when it comes to like a James Bond style film,
that's because
they're always like, get James Bond!
Yeah, James Bond is already established in his mythos. He is that full character, so the villains are up against him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Darth Vader is, I know we were like, done with Star Wars, but it's like he's kind of this symbol of this evil force, and it's like Luke isn't anywhere near yet being able to combat him, so as he slowly gets better, he's going to gain attention.
But in the idea, let's say it was just a one-off movie, there wasn't going to be sequels. In that respect, it's like the hero of the film barely, if at all, interacts with the supposed villain or antagonist. I thought that was just a really interesting point. And anything I just quickly, anything I just said wasn't a slight against it. Like, I like that he's like, oh, he's a Jedi, whatevs. And the very fact that Vader was like, you guys suck, I'm getting in the cockpit, and like, I'm going into the fray. Like, most villains are usually running and having their villains, their bad guys do it for them. Like, there's a lot of respectable stuff for what Vader does in that movie.
He's like an ace pilot, though, and he's like, he should be able to take this on. He's like, how is this taking so long? I'll take care of this.
Yeah, but like, in all respect, he's like, you know, he's a guy who like is all about this like ancient power, like a very almost religious type of thing. But then at the same time, he's like, I'm jumping into the fray, and it's like, you don't expect, like, you know, in I don't know, the Three Musketeers, the Pope is gonna like, oh, that's it, and just jump the thing and start punching people.
Well, not
or
the
something.
Pope, but it was like if Cardinal Richelieu happened to be like an amazing fighter, you'd be like, oh, cool.
Oh, you Musketeers, you've done it now.
It's cool when like a villain, well, because you don't know what's under all that mask. He could be like a super crazy warrior. I mean, it's somewhat samurai-ish. I think when you see people show the similarities. And
in contrast to like say The Lion King, where it's like, you know, the hero and villain have known each other for quite some time because they're like uncle and nephew, is like that. And so it's like there's a very different kind of thing there, and it was just interesting studying how the interaction, and the final point of it all was my favorite line from Street Fighter the movie, where M. Bison says the greatest thing ever said in a movie by a villain, and I'm dead serious about this. And Chun-Li is basically on her whole trip for revenge because he years ago wasted her town because he's M. Bison, he's a dickhead.
Whole town?
Yeah, you know, she has the hero story. He destroyed her town and blah blah blah. And she finally gets to him, and of course he puts her in a nice dress, and they have cups and stuff, and it's that weird moment.
It's like that whole legend thing.
It's like throw them in the stocks, but bring her to my quarters. You know, it's that whole thing.
Bring that one to me.
But give her something nice to wear. You know, it's that whole setup. So, but ignore that for a second. He says classically in a smoky jacket, and he's like, the day, and he's holding like 2 cups. And he's like, the day M. Bison came to your village was the most important day in your life. To me, it was a Tuesday. And I'm like, that captures the concept of a villain of that level so well. Because he's not having a personal vendetta against every individual he's slighted.
Such a crappy
He's
thing
just
to say
doing like these big massive things that for each person affected, it's a personal vendetta. He doesn't even know they exist.
It's just kind of part of his goal breakdown.
Yeah, it's like I took over that village.
It's like that thing where it's like, you know, you're supposed to set reasonable goals, and if your goal is to take over the world, it's like, okay, how do I break this down? I gotta take over this village, this village.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to take over this village? I need to first do this.
TV Dinner's asking, do you record right night? I'd like to listen in, but I'm on the wrong side of the continent. Yes, we did actually record both of them. I haven't uploaded them yet because either I want to build
make a new site?
Either build a stock of them, but I will be putting them on SoundCloud because SoundCloud also actually has iTunes integration, so it could be a podcast as well as on SoundCloud.
Cool.
So hopefully I'll get that going soon. I want to just redesign the logo because right now I just use someone's Google image of a piece of paper and I typed on it. But if I'm making it more of a personal thing, I should at least take a photo of a piece of paper so it's original. But basically, yeah, our talks are kind of interesting because that was about villains, and it was just like we kind of delved into like different kinds of villains and how there's like I want to talk a bit more about the different kind of like more of the bully, like the high school antagonists and stuff because there's kind of a difference between antagonist villain, and then we didn't even talk about that, but we moved on to things about like people versus nature and people versus volcanoes and stuff.
How about the villain of the South?
Yeah, one versus oneself. Like there's all those layers, and this is what Right Night is about. And this is a segue within a segue, so let's start stepping out of it. But the point is, I started doing the Right Night to start talking to more writers and just having a weekly jam and just kind of like, working on the craft and getting some ideas going. And some people who have told me, like, yeah, I was writing something and I've changed everything because of, like, the meeting we did. Like, what we talked about was so obvious, but I just didn't think of it.
That's what you need. People ask me that, like, what do you do when you don't have someone to bounce stuff off of? And sometimes you just need people to... You just need to find a group of people that you can just throw stuff against the wall and hear. You don't have to take everybody's advice because ultimately you are the one voice for your project. There's only one you, so it's got to be your story. But having people to just refresh things really helps. So I really want to check out next week's as well.
Well, this coming week, Mondays is going to be...
Yeah, I like that. Azula is a better villain than Ozai.
Pretty much. They actually had some
because Ozai was kind of the Vader-ish. He was kind of just this big force.
Yeah.
She was more personal. I do find that where it's more like the lieutenant characters that you're more interested in.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Sailor Moon, like you're more interested in the 4 generals than Beryl herself because she's just like, I'm evil. Then like, what's his face just wants to get a parfait for Molly.
Yeah. Maxfield Stanton, of course. The downfall of Maxfield Stanton. Oh, Molly. I'm sorry, we won't have parfaits. Such tragedy, and she was sad for a whole of 2 days afterwards. So, the point is, Monday's Right Night is going to be about writing what you know is the topic, and it's all basically going to be about I've got a couple of things covered. It's more about how when I first started writing comics and as a kid and making my own comics, it was so heavily influenced by anime that everything had to be so Japanese and so anime. But in truth, it was me, you know, I don't want to spoil it all here, but it was basically me, you know, giving an impression of something, and it wasn't true to my, like, I wasn't adding anything to it, and that's something I had to kind of grow out of, so I wasn't just like copying what I saw. But in the way, it's the same as like.
That's kind of how you learn, though.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of how I even learned to draw was just copying stuff I liked.
But
and you copy enough
like,
things that you start to develop your own patterns.
And that's kind of the growth of it, because I was fanboying like the style, and then I'm like, but none of these are really my story, because I don't live in that world. Like it's me trying too hard to be like something that isn't even what I do. You know, because they're like, write what you know, but like a lot of people just know this really simple life, and it's like, how do you even get any big exciting? But that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about on Monday, so I'm not spoiling it here.
I remember when saying that I wanted to work on like some really heavy, cool, interesting stories. It's almost like, well, your life's been pretty easy. What can you even write about that? And I'm like, oh, like every writer has been through some insane tragedy.
This is what we're going to talk about. We're not going to spoil it all here, because I'm just giving you a taste of this coming Monday's Fight Night. But if you do live in the Toronto area and you want to get involved, I don't know if you can find the group yet. You can look up Right Night on Facebook if that's any help. Or message me directly, and we can somehow set that up.
On the Facebook.
And it's basically we show up at a pub or a restaurant or a coffee shop, and we just like sit down for an hour and just talk. After an hour, we shut off the mics, and then we can actually go into your own personal stories and comics if you don't want to spoil it all over the recording. And at the same time, though I still act like a host, I really just want it to be a conversation, but I got to keep it going. So like I try to pretend it's not a podcast, just a conversation. But in the end, when it goes quiet, it goes back to me, and I'm like, damn it. So next topic. So like maybe I'll learn to be more natural, but like my podcasting days are still stuck on me, where I have to have something to say. You know, like, so this is interesting, and I open with like a monologue too, so like that doesn't help at all. But definitely, it's going to be open for more people. Who knows, it might become something, because as I told you guys last week, I shut down the other podcast, the Talking to the Microphone. Yeah. Because like that one was fun, but I couldn't do it on a consistent basis anymore, and I'm like, this is something that, like this show you're watching right now, if there's a precedent of like having it weekly and there is an intended audience, as opposed to me just randomly throwing stuff up, then I feel it will happen more often.
It'd be helpful too, because I mean, like, we kind of just talk about whatever. Sometimes we put in some tips, but if it's a show specifically about
it's all about writing,
craft and stuff like that, like I think that would find an audience.
Yeah. Also, I fear I'm going to run out of topics eventually, so I need some suggestions. Because I have stuff on like actually some of it was I thought I was going to put into the villain one, but I'm switching it out to be about monsters and a separate idea, like how to make true monsters and creepy things, and it'll be an interesting creepy episode, but we won't do that until maybe next week. We'll talk about stuff, but yeah, definitely if you guys want to get in on that. Joanne says I love talking to the microphone.
I did too. It was fun that you just kind of, I liked how random it was, where we'd just be in a hotel with a bunch of cartoonists, suddenly you'd ask this really leading question, and like, and you're like, you're all live, I'm talking to the microphone, and suddenly it's like, we're just in for the next 40 minutes of just talking. Yeah, like truth be told, I'm not... keep it up. I mean, you're not done.
Let me put it this way, I'm not entirely against doing it, but the problem is it was so infrequent, it's just like, what is it really? It's not exactly a podcast, it's like once in a while a recording of some talk. Like in the early days, it was like every week I got someone, and it was fun because like it was either me just ranting, but then I just thought, I don't want to talk to myself.
We have this for ranting. So.
Yeah, you know our channels.
We just take all our weekly we unleash it on you guys.
The original podcast was before this even started. It was basically right when I got back from Portland. I started doing it.
It was fun.
And it was fun and silly, and like at conventions is cool because after a day at a con, we'd like sit down, set up the mic, and then just have a conversation.
Like especially if we do some traveling this year, it might be cool to like get some folks that.
The bottom line is I'm trying to find ways to minimize video and audio production and maximize writing. So unfortunately, this is the year where there won't be too much video from me.
You don't have to edit talking to the microphone home though.
No, I don't. But it's also like, you know, if it was a weekly show, it'd be like I have to find time to sit down and get an entertaining guest, which I'm. You know, unless I was bringing back more people. And truth be told, there's other podcasts out there like Guys with Pencils. I hear is this really good show.
Guys with Pencils is a really good show.
I hear this guy Andrew Murray runs it. You should go check that out. That's a reliable podcast that's on. So check that out.
I've been really enjoying.
You don't need me.
They had a couple storyboard artists from some dudes I know on the last show. That
Yeah.
was really good, really helpful. Really crazy, too. But yeah, you guys should listen to Guys with Puzzles. They're on
says damn
Tumblr
straight.
as well. And they interview artists, animators, comic artists, game developers, a lot of Toronto people, a lot of people from other places too. And I really highly recommend it. They're coming up to their 100th episode. I'm
There you
really
go.
excited. This has been going for
Is the
a long
100th
time.
episode going to be a live episode at a pub or something? Because you should do that. It's only like...
Oh, it's Guys with Pencils.
Yes. I was earlier when we were doing checking out Silly Kingdom stuff. Like we're thinking of doing a party at a pub, at the Victory, I think. Or
we hadn't picked a pub yet.
we didn't do it in the end, like just because like timing and stuff. But I was thinking of doing the Victory, and it actually isn't too much. It's not that expensive to like rent. You just have to guarantee a certain amount of alcohol purchases.
I'm gonna type.
So if you do like a bit of a like fundraiser on that, but he says it's a surprise, so it's probably something crazy. So keep us posted. I'd love to check it out. Love to be there for the 100th episode. But you guys should also check out Guys with Pencils.
Guys with Pencils.
But as far as on my side, so talking to the microphone is basically hiatus.
Joanna says, did you mention another one? Maybe I'll just mention talking to the microphone. I can't.
If you
I can't
want.
post links, so.
You can check Talking to the Microphone on iTunes. It
Why
actually is
does
on
you spell
iTunes.
things weird. Micro.
MICROMAPHONE.
Wait, one more time.
MICROMA microphone. Which is weird because I just said camera.
It's on iTunes?
Well, as far as podcasts, there's like 30. There might be 30 episodes or so, maybe. I did a couple, but check it out. It's what it is. It was just silly and fun to do, and we got some good guests. Like we have.
Oops, I forgot. Lost
Alice Quinn. Sorry, I was thinking of
Alice
the names.
Quinn
Alice Quinn is
from,
on the last
Comics.
episode we did because she came over and we did a shoot.
Our friend Jean Kang from
Jean
LA.
Kang's on it. Heather's on an episode.
Our sister
Oh, we had the
Mom,
My Little Ponies episode where we all watched My Little Ponies together. It was great.
Yeah, that
we
episode
had,
with your friends where you try and name every 150 Pokemon.
we had the
in
Pokemon.
order.
We had the Pokemon special, which was 2 hours long.
That was crazy.
There's a lot of fun episodes because that was the thing with talking to the microphone was there was really no structure. It was just as long as I had questions, stuff would happen. It was just different topics, different people. What we talked about, a yoga friend of mine who's all about yoga and healthy.
Yeah.
We talked to a friend of mine who does like
go to
offbeat
yoga, speaking
stage
of which.
stuff. And it was just kind of like just talking with friends, which was
Crack.
interesting. But here's the thing. Here's the problem, though. When you do anything like this show or podcasts, and you'll hear this from other podcasters, it basically ruins conversation to a degree. Because you're going to be like having dinner together, and you start a story and like, wait, save it for the show, because you're never going to be able to say it the same way again.
Well, I think I remember before this show once, I, and Jerry got into some giant discussion.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to try and like get the energy to like bring it up again, like.
And
the
it's
show.
not
And
there.
I think we did okay, but it was like, if only we were recording right now.
Yeah. And it's because, and that's the mindset you kind of get into, because everything you say is, because if your product is your conversations, and your conversations are gold the first time, and you just did it, it's like, we wasted that conversation.
Yeah.
We should just be quiet and eat soup, like in the Batman movie with Michael Keaton.
How's your soup?
What? The soup.
The soup.
What? Let's eat in the kitchen on the floor with Alfred.
Dogs.
Master Wayne, welcome. Join me. I found
like
some
Bane.
scraps.
Master Wayne.
Master Wayne.
I have to
Or is
see
this
that
better?
still.
You haven't seen me yet. Hello. I'm a very disappointing movie. Anyway, that's my review of The Dark Knight Rises. So, long rants about shows I'm not doing anymore. But what you do want to see, though, of course, is there'll probably be a couple straggler episodes of talking to the camera to squeeze out before I shut that down for another season. Because once again, I want to get back to writing some lovely things for you, every fine folk watching and out there. Because there's lots of stories to do, lots of shorts, lots of anthologies. Hopefully,
Lots of anthologies.
yeah, my cup runneth over.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like the writing year for me. I wanted to build up, my writing.
Yeah.
So that means
2012 was a pretty abysmal year for personal drawing projects. I did this thing, my sister did it, where it was like a summary of what you drew every, like, your best drawing every month for like the whole year. And there were some months where I was like, did I draw anything this month? And I'd find a doodle, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't count what's in my sketchbook, because that's just like kind of doodly people drawings.
Oh, well, it's
but I'm
past
like,
10.
Yeah, it's my bedtime.
Of course, we lost some time on that, so we'll shut down the next 10 minutes.
Yeah,
because we lost some time because of that weird interruption.
Yeah.
But is there anything else to talk about?
I wrote down some things, but okay. So Monster Cars. Monster
Back.
trucks.
Full circle.
There's this thing at the end, and people who've been to monster trucks know it, but I was just like, what? Where after all the giant trucks have been jumping around,
Yes.
all these cars come out, and I think it's called Destructor Derby or something.
Oh no, it's
Demolition Derby.
Demolition Derby.
And essentially, it's
Yes.
just all these cars that just
Hitting each other.
smash into each other until none can't
Which
move
in
anymore.
theory sounds awesome.
Which
Now.
in theory sounds awesome. I don't know what it is about the human condition, but it's like 5 minutes and I'm bored, and these cars are smashing into each other, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Then I'm like, oh, like, and I'm thinking back to like gladiator times where I'm just like, man, people were so ridiculous back then. But it's like I can see people just being like, dee. Just insanities happening in the ring, and then maybe there's.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, we're just like.
No, I'm not.
I'm bored, but I'm like,
Yawners.
what is with me? It's like it's exciting for the first couple minutes, and then it's like,
Yeah.
Also, a lot of kids. The place is
Yeah.
like packed with kids and like exhausted parents, just like ah.
Well, you said the best thing was monster truck is going on and
What?
some kid
So-
is ignoring it
Yeah, the
and
kids
playing.
in front of us. It's like there's the kid who's just hyperactive. It's
Yeah.
like the dad brings him a flag and he's wagging it and hitting the people in front of him. And they're like, "Stop it! What are you doing?" And then the kid's sleeping and the other kid's poking his kid in the face because they're siblings. And then it's like, Monster Truck Madness is happening and he's got the iPad and he's playing like a little monster truck game on the iPad.
Yeah, he's ignoring the
I'm
actual monster truck night.
And
He's just
I'm not watching the
playing
game
it.
either. I'm drawing the kid playing a monster truck game on his iPad while monster trucks
Yeah.
are happening.
There you go.
Yeah, it was interesting.
That's the thing. That's something to take away from
Yeah,
it in
that's
this
one of
sketch.
the weirdest nachos ever.
Huh? How so?
It was supposed to be like jerked. I don't know. I don't know what you get at like a stadium thing, but it was like coleslaw and like
Ooh,
I don't know. It
sounds
was
kind of
kinda-
nice.
It was alright. It had cilantro. I think that made it healthy.
The upper crust of nachos.
Yeah.
Fancy Italian names or whatever.
Yeah, really bright lights in there though. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
I've yet to go to a monster truck event or a distraction derby, but
Oh.
I don't feel. But I did learn something very interesting, as I posted on Tumblr. If you follow it, Jackie Chan. If I were to ask you if Harley Quinn NASCAR books existed, what would you say?
You say Harley Quinn is in romance.
Yes.
I say yes because you posted it on your Facebook page. So I was like, what does he post?
This blew my mind. I was randomly for my work. I was randomly
night,
looking
Andrew
for
Murray.
Harley Quinn books and covers, and I stumbled upon a collection of NASCAR themed. Because understandably, NASCAR is huge in the States. Nothing here, but NASCAR themed Harley Quinn romance
Like a lot of them?
novels.
Enough that it's
Yes,
genre?
there's a good enough
there
to
a
call them like a
convention just for
murder
it?
of NASCAR Harley Quinn books.
Murder.
A cupboard of NASCAR. I think
like a
that's pandas or a cupboard of pandas or
Is
something.
it really a cupboard
It is.
of
I
pandas?
think it's a cupboard of pandas.
Oh my god.
It's kind of ridiculous.
I'm gonna cry. I'm tearing up. That's really cute. It's like you open your cupboard, it's just like
They just tumble out because there's a cupboard of pandas.
They're just like, I can't even procreate.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I just stumbled upon a collection of these very inspirational NASCAR covers of, like, these graying men, like, looking off in the distance, holding a book, some race girl, and it says something like, "To the finish line" is the title, and he's like, "But can he make it with her
To
to the finish line," or something like that. I don't know. But it blew my mind. I would not have expected it to exist. It wasn't on my radar.
Mara asks, are there any ridiculous titles for them? And I'm trying to think of some now, but my brain's just not.
Yeah, you're still focused on the pandas on the cover.
All the covers of pandas.
Well, like all covers of pandas, sometimes you gotta close the door, and like this show, you gotta do that too. So we'll start wrapping up because people need their Betty by time. What's anything coming up?
Well, let me see. I think there's a couple events. Let me pull up my calendar because, I gotta get up early tomorrow. I agreed to go to something and now I'm like, no! Next, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, if you're in Toronto, is the Tea Festival. It's at the Toronto Reference Library where TCAF's held, which is young and bluish. And it's going to be, I think, they're going to be tea ceremonies, tea shop people, tea from all over the place. And,
Sorry, Jim says, and then they turned left.
I can picture that
thank
cover.
you. Thank you very
I can picture
much.
that cover. The Toronto Tea Festival, I think it's $10 to $15 entrance. It's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Reference Library. So if you like tea and if you want to check out tea samples, head on out.
I don't know about
Cosplay is
you.
your favorite tea.
I don't know about you, but that sounds terrific.
It sounds delightful.
It's actually the exact same place where TCAF is.
Also, something I just discovered for the artists in Toronto, there's this thing called Tunes on Tap at the Rhino Bar on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And it's, if anyone's done Dr. Sketchies, it's kind of, I think it's that kind of fun, you drink and you draw, and you draw models.
So a drink and draw.
It's a drink and draw, models, and it's cartoon themed. So I think the theme this week is She-Ra.
Really?
Power.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that'll be Tuesday. What else is happening? I'm getting a haircut on my phone. Okay, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. If you're in Toronto and you like to read Lemony Snicket books and you like to read Seth comics,
and you're lonely on Valentine's Day,
or if you got someone to hang out with, or whatever, come to the Toronto Public. I think it's the Reference Library. The Beguilen is hosting it, so it's Lemony Snicket, who wrote A Series of Unfortunate Events, and Seth are doing a presentation, and it's free, but you need to sign up. So check out the Beguilen site. Yeah, there might. It's a pretty big space, so there should be spots.
Yeah.
But go to their site, check out the event, and that'll be, I believe it's at like 7 o'clock. But check their site for details. And unfortunately, actually, it's happening during. I think it's on a Thursday, so it's happening during the show. But it's Valentine's Day. I want to eat.
So we might take that day off.
So we might take the day off.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Should we do the Wednesday or?
I have life drawing on Wednesdays.
Should we do?
We could do Friday.
Maybe.
The 15th.
We'll keep you guys posted on that. That's not till February anyway, which is like next week.
Yeah, which is coming up pretty
We'll tell you when that happens.
Yeah.
Keep you posted.
Other events. Every Sunday around 3:30, there's Bobby Chu's Subway Sketch Crawl, which I haven't checked out yet, but they meet in the Union Station subway, and everybody just goes and sketches people in the subway. So one of these days, I'm going to make it a habit, because it's on my to-do list. I just need to actually do it. So yeah, I think that's all that's on my to-do list.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything coming up really as far as I thought there was something, but it's left my mind.
There's stuff at the Comic Lounge.
Is there? There's always something at the Comic Lounge.
Yeah, Comic Lounge is pretty cool. They got a lot of events happening.
I know Quinn is going to be hosting a bunch more events. They
have a party on the 9th, which is actually right after my storyboards due, so I'll be like,
just get trashed or something. Yeah. Like, I'm done. Beyond that, hopefully Mondays will be the day for Write Night. If you're in the Toronto area and want to get involved, it's definitely open. It's the more people who don't know each other, it's fine because we'll start. Hopefully, we'll start off with some sort of get to know each other mini game. I don't know, something like that. We'll introduce each other. That's all.
We'll make you break the ice by pitching your story.
There you go. Yes, sell us an elevator pitch.
At all.
30 words or less. Go. And it's not specific to any kind of writing. It could be script. It could be short story. It could be comic. It could be radio, audio drama,
poetry, fan fiction,
anything really. This is just more of a place just to talk with people.
Mara says Snakes and Lattes is having a mixer thing on February 13th.
I know they just reopened, and I checked it out yesterday. Very nice. They re-renovated. They're under renovation for like 2 weeks, so they're closed for a bit. But it's very nice. They now have like a middle island for the counter, and you can walk all the way around the whole place. I don't know if that means the liquor license is extended to both sides, or if it's still one side. But interesting to see that they did that. Like, they've basically taken over that building big times. So go to Snakes and Lattes if you haven't yet. If you're visiting Toronto and you want something to do that isn't necessarily dancing and movies and loud sounds, you can go to Snakes and Lattes on an evening and play board games and drink and eat all night. And it closes at 2 a.m. That game of Battlestar Galactica will run you to that anyway.
That just goes forever.
So you're going to want to do that. Check out Snakes and Lattes if you're visiting for the Tea Fests or for TCAF.
Yeah, definitely check out Snakes and Lattes. Creepy's asked if I'll show a picture. I honestly haven't done too much, but here's a little character from a comic we're working on. So.
No! Even I haven't seen this yet.
Super rough.
You guys just saw it before I did. That's an okay there. On the second versus it. Exclusive.
Yeah. Exclusive.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. It sucks because it's like I got this nice thing here, but I feel like when I work, I'm going to have to figure out a way to just get rid of build up some RAM so I can work on drawings here.
We don't want the show to crash and freeze like it just did.
Yeah, and I do want to do pencils while I'm here, so we will be...
We do have that second kit.
TV dinner's sad. Why are you sad, TV dinner? Or was that a cute? Aw. I can never tell. It was, is it like a cover to pandas? Or is it like...
Oh, man. Of course, you can always follow everything we're up to. Shaggy Shan on Twitter and Tumblr. Katie Shy on Twitter and Tumblr. All over them. Just put it in Google, you'll find it.
Yeah, I do.
Shanahigans. Every day, check my stats.
Yeah.
Shanahanigans.
Every day I'm like, who are these other Katie Shanahans? Be gone!
Go to Facebook, subscribe to Shanahanigans page there. Of course, that's where most of our updates will be, and usually the updates are just when this show is on.
Yeah,
did you
when
post
we start making, I did. When we start
Okay.
making more comics, we'll
Yes.
post more stuff there. And I keep meaning to, on my to-do list, it's like put up convention pics. You know, did I send you that email? Someone, we got a post. That
Oh,
was,
yeah. We'll check that out after the show.
Okay. And then possibly...
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
We'll look into that. Sorry, there's been a whole list of things to do.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I hope you guys have been keeping creative, keeping artful. If you have questions during the show, be sure to always bring them up because we love your topics and we love to give our 2 cents. If we have any sense to give, we will offer on any of that stuff. So be sure to, don't be shy. Like, I know you guys also
Cool.
want to just listen while you draw, but if you have a question or two, be sure to throw that out there.
Joanna asks, can you post links on the Facebook page of stuff you talk about? I keep meaning to, like, because we bring up a lot of reference in videos.
The
and I'm
only-
like, should we just post those?
The thing is, we'd have to then rewatch the whole show and then like log it.
Because I could start making notes of things.
Maybe.
Because I know there was one episode where we were talking about like stupid kids' toys and
Yeah.
like who are those army dudes?
Army dudes?
That TV show with like army dudes.
That's broad of a description.
Like the G.I. Joe. Yeah, like we're gonna.
Yeah,
post,
G.I.
like,
Oh, okay.
Stuff like PSA stuff like that.
Basically, it would be we need active transcription for that to happen, like someone who's paying attention to the show and writing things down. And I don't know if that's going to take you out of the show if you're like, wait.
You know, I can have a sticky note here though. You know what? I think we will start. My only worry
Swing
is
thing.
I don't want to like swing thing.
Yes.
Swing thing.
A
It's a
what?
Swing. It's a what? Like I guess I worry I don't want to like annoy people with too many updates, but like it'll be fine. We'll just post in the weird hours. Mara says this was my first Shanahanigans live.
Oh,
it
thank
was
you for
awesome.
joining.
Come
I'm
to
sorry this was the
Oakville.
crashing episode.
Yeah, sorry
with
to
the
go
freezing
crashing.
and the breaking and the.
Actually, Mara, I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it's Saturday, but for events happening, I know in Oakville, they're going to be screening Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Scott Capel, he wasn't my teacher, but he's worked at Pixar and Disney and all that, and he, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark was one of his first movies he worked on. He's going to be there doing, like, a Q&A afterwards. So that might be something fun you're interested in checking out if you, like me, are a giant Indiana Jones fan. I should post that swing thing. But yes, Joanna, it's a good point. I've been meaning to do that. I'm going to start keeping track of things. So if that's the case, what should we post this week?
I don't remember the things.
We'll keep track of
You
it
tell
from
me
now
to
on.
do things. I don't run and. Where in Oakville?
I don't exactly know where.
You guys are just stretching the show out
some
now.
theater.
See what you're doing with your questions. Can you say it again, slower?
You know what? I will.
Katie will post it in the Facebook. Make a note.
I'll post it on the Facebook.
Fetch the Etch-a-Sketch. Take a note. We'll post it on the Facebook.
Should we have a calendar? Oh wait. Yeah.
Actually,
So you're
left
Sheridan.
this
Yeah. You know what? If Scott has a blog, like maybe
Follow the
you
Scott
can find
blog.
it there.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
everyone's got to get to bed. Katie has an early day. We will
Oh,
work
I
on
sign up for a
transcribing
thing.
episodes in the future, but I just hope it doesn't take you out of the conversation because you're like, wait.
No, you know what? I can just noodle stuff down if it's like.
Okay.
I just hadn't thought of it. I mean, obviously we can't post everything we talk about, but we can post your right nights stuff like that. Okay, you're signing off.
Shanahanigans Live is every Thursday at 8 o'clock
Yeah.
on Livestream, of course. We'll keep you posted if the Valentine's Day episode is going to delay things. Once again, if you're in the Toronto area and you want to join in the right nights, get in touch with us either through the Facebook, you can post on the wall, and we can set you up with that. And, yeah. Cool, you good?
I'm good.
I think I'm good.
All right.
All right. Cheers,
guys.
guys.
Thanks for
Good
hanging
night.
out.
Sorry for the episode being all messed up in the middle.
Okay, ciao.
Won't happen, guys. Swear.
Laters.